Look at that. Hit it and remembered and everything. Welcome, welcome. We're still waiting for a few people to come in. So grab some coffee if you haven't had any yet, or some water, whatever you need. And we will get started in just a second. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started and let people arrive as they would like to come in. So welcome to Connect to a Cause 2022 July informational session. We are so excited that all of you are here. You all are representing a lot of different organizations throughout the community, and we are excited to get started. So if you haven't heard yet, there are 74 nonprofit organizations participating in Connect to a Cause 2022. That's a lot, and we are really excited you're all here. And so you can see all of you on here. There are a lot of you, 56 the first year, 65 the second year, and now we're at 74. So welcome everyone, and we're excited to talk about Connect to a Cause today. So if I haven't had the opportunity to meet you, my name is Brittany Lovett. I go by Britt. I'm the Marketing and Communications Officer here at the Community Foundation. I think I've been here almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in September. So in those 4 years, Connect to a Cause, this is our third time doing it, and a lot of you are returning organizations. And we also want to take time to welcome the 10 plus organizations that are joining us for the first time this year. So if you have never heard of Connect to Cause or haven't participated, there's going to be a lot of great information in this session, and it is recorded. So if you're the only one from your organization here, you will be able to share this recording. It will be on our participant toolkit, which you'll hear about a little bit later. But basically, it's a web page with all the information that you will need on it. So first things first, we're going to talk about the day of schedule. So if you don't know by now, Connect to a Cause is on September 15th, 2022. And it is a 12-hour crowdfunding campaign. So what does that mean? From 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., people can donate to your organization via peoplewhocare.org and our grants catalog, which Missy will cover later. So if you've paid attention over the last couple of years, because Connect to a Cause happened during the pandemic, a lot of things were virtual. And while we still are going to have that virtual aspect, we have switched it up a little bit to do a couple of things in person. So last year and the year before, we were able to do one-on-one Zoom interviews with organizations. So this year, what we're going to do, and I'll talk about next, we're going to ask organizations to send us videos about your organization, what you're fundraising for, what the funds will go towards, how do we get people engaged with your organization. And we're going to run those videos throughout the entire day. We are going to have 4 live segments this year. They're going to be hosted here at our office at the Community Foundation. And so right after each one of those segments, we're going to have a power hour. So instead of 2 like we did last year, we're going to have 4 separate power hours, and each one is going to be themed by one of our categories. So our categories are arts and culture, education and youth development, strengthening Lorain County, and health and human services. On the toolkit, we will show you which group your organization is a part of. Sometimes it may be a little confusing, but the way that we choose which bucket you go in is by the type of grant category you're in. So we will make sure you have that so you can see which power hour you should be promoting for your organization. Another portion of the day that is a little different, and we're still planning, is the last 3 hours. So from 5 to 8, there will be some type of celebration here at the Community Foundation. And if you've never came to our office, we're on 58 and 113-ish, not completely on the corner, but on the way. So it's something that is easily accessed throughout the community, and it will be really fun. And we should have some surprise things that we're going to announce probably closer to that date. I know you guys are used to me saying that we're going to have surprises. You have 4 power hours. I have no idea what's going to happen between 5 and 8. So I am hoping you're there, but we will share some more information once we get to August. So up next, you heard me mention we're going to ask all 74 organizations to submit a video. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's going to be 3 to 5 minutes just highlighting your organization. And of course, we are here to help you. Not everyone is tech savvy. I'm not tech savvy all the time. I just had to ask our IT person what to do with my iPad. We are here to help you. So if your organizations, after we talk about videos and after you read some of the things on the toolkit, if you still feel like you need help, reach out to me, any of my colleagues, and we will schedule time to come and help you. But you have to reach out before August, because there's 74 of you. We can't do you all in one day, but we can do as much as we can to help you. So just reach out to us. So our amazing Leadership Lorain County intern created a little video that I'm going to play for you all about the do's and the don'ts with videos.
Hello, my name is Miley Mosley, and I'm an intern at the Community Foundation of Lorain County, and I'm coming from the Leadership Lorain County Internship Program. Today I'll be talking to you about how to make your interview video for your organization. If you are using a phone, be sure to have it facing horizontally, like so. Your video should be 3 to 5 minutes long in order for you to have a final product. You should be able to access all you need for the video in the Connect to a Cause toolkit. If you aren't able to record the video yourself, we can send someone from our Community Foundation team to assist you. The questions that we are asking are, tell us about your organization. What are some of the most exciting developments from this year? What are some success stories that you can share? What are some of the challenges or lessons you've had this year? And for the returning Connect to a Cause participants, what progress has been made with the funds from the previous Connect to a Cause? What are your goals for your Connect to a Cause dollars this year? How else can donors champion you in your work? Is there anything else donors should know, or would you like to share that wasn't discussed? Thank you all for participating in Connect to a Cause. We look forward to connecting people who care to causes that matter.
Thanks, Ramaya. And like videos, we always talk about sound. So we will work with you to make sure the sound is loud enough for you and for other people to hear when we stream it throughout the day. So portion of this is something that we've been doing for a long time. So if you followed along in our newsletter, if you've connected with us before, you should have heard of Ask the Expert. So we partner with Business Volunteered, BVU, out of Cleveland, to help us do some of our nonprofit webinars and seminars. And I'll mention our upcoming one later. But one of the things that they have gotten a grant from us to do is the Ask the Expert session. So this is a 1 hour free consulting with a professional in our area on whatever subject that you need, whether it's HR, finance, marketing. Maybe you just you have an idea and you're not sure how to go about getting it started. Anything that you can think of, we can find someone in our community who is the expert in this area, and we can help you. So one thing that we want to make sure that we do, all 74 of you, whatever you need between now and September or now to the end of the year, please reach out to us. I think Ramaya's putting it in the chat. Kimberly at BVU, she is taking down your information, calling, and she's gonna match someone with you. And I can testify that I just went out to somewhere on Friday and we talked for like an hour and a half about everything under the sun, Connect to a Cause, grants, fundraising, board management, everything. And so that is the same opportunity that we would like to extend to all of you. So please let us know if you need any type of help with anything. Awesome. So up next, I'm passing the baton to my coworker, Allison Hawkinson.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see so many familiar faces and some new ones on our Zoom. So I wanted to talk to you about ways to donate. So as Britt mentioned, this is really a crowdfunding campaign that we're primarily doing online. So the more that you can push your donors and your constituents to donate online, the better. Additionally, because of those power hours, only the online donations during that time will be considered for the prizes. So truly, the more you can get your people to donate online, the better. But for those that don't want to donate online or want to start, kind of get a jump start ahead of the day of the event, you can use this cash or check form, and we will have to have this turned into us by 8 p.m. on the day of the event, September 15th. And we modified this a little bit this year. We decided to list all of the organizations that are participating. We think that'll help kind of get everybody's name out there. It's a little publicity for everybody. And so just know that you have this new form to use, and hopefully you guys like how we modified it. Additionally, please let us know, or have your donor let us know if their employer does a corporate match, and we will have to have that information also by September 5th, 8 o'clock on September 15th. So I think that's it for that slide. If you can move on. Okay, so once we finish September 15th, it takes us a little while to get all of the numbers put together, and so we'll have our celebration on Friday, September 30th at 10 a.m. at Sunset Terrace in Lakeview Park. So you can come there. We'll announce all of the results, and we will have checks for you available to pick up. If you're not available to make it, that's fine. We will mail the checks out the following week. RSVPs for the event will come out closer to that time, but we'll have that available for you on our website. And also, if you could let us know by that Tuesday beforehand, which is September 27th, whether you want the 25% or more to go into your endowment, we would appreciate that. We just need a couple days to get all of the checks put together and out to everybody. So, all right, that's all I have. I think Laura's up next.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We are so excited to be at this stage of Connect to a Cause and our planning. I wanted to follow up a little bit with something new, piggybacking on what Allison had mentioned with her check and cash form. If we could go to the next slide, please. One of the things that we were trying to create for the organizations is other ways that they can reach out to their donors that may have donor advised funds and may also be looking to do distributions from their IRAs. So as you may recall from some of the newsletters that we've written, donors that are over 70 and a half can take money out of their IRA without it counting as income. And I thought this would be a great opportunity. We had a couple great champions on the donor side that created larger gifts to some of their organizations. I know we had a Neighborhood Alliance that had a $10,000 gift. We had the North Ridgeville Community Cares that had a stock donation and a match that one of their donors had done. This can be a great tool to use for those donors that you may also want to target for those endeavors as well. So if you think through and if you need help thinking through your donor database to try and see who you may be receiving gifts from that may have donor advised funds or that may be making gifts from their IRAs, I'm happy to sit and chat with you guys one-on-one to talk through that. But I think this could be a great opportunity to engage with these donors. I know we had one of our board members that last year made a gift out of his donor advised fund that was $50 to each of the 65 participants. So this is a great tool to leverage. Similar to what Allison was saying with the cash check form, as you're sending this out as an individual organization, I know that there were some organizations that in past years kind of put their name at the head of the pack when they mailed this out to their donors. Similar in that sense, what you can do is highlight your organization name on these forms so that those stand out relative to your specific organization. But I think this form, along with the check cash form, can be a great tool to leverage in the early stage planning with your donors and getting that early word out. We would need this form by the end of the day of September 15th, just like the check cash form, primarily because those checks from donor advised funds may take 2 to 3 weeks to come from those programs. So at least that way we know then that those monies are coming and we can allocate those accordingly. Same is true with the IRA administrators. Sometimes those can take a couple weeks. So it's really important that this form gets out early and is discussed often with your donors so that you can make the best leverage of those scenarios. Next slide, please. Once again, this year we have business champions, and right now the business champion dollar amount that we have is about $37,000. So we are super pleased with the results we've gotten so far. We want to thank our business champions, and as you collaborate with some of these organizations in your community, please make sure to thank them as well. As Britt mentioned, not only is this creating the matching dollars that we've used historically, but this is helping to fund the power hours and some prizes that, as Britt mentioned, are yet to be determined. So make sure that you make sure you recognize these folks as you deal with them in the community, because we wouldn't be able to help spur along the success of this each year without these business champions. We're super excited to have them engaged. Many of them are repeat participants from last year. We also have some new ones, so we're really looking forward to still growing this list over the next couple weeks as we finalize all of our champions and those commitments. Next slide, please. As we mentioned before, we have the matching dollar pool. And I know this has been a little fuzzy for some folks to be able to talk about. And now that we've had 2 years of kind of bench strength behind this, I wanted to kind of maybe paint this in a little bit different light than we had in years past. We know from the last 2 years that that match has typically equated somewhere between 15 and 18% additional dollars going to the nonprofits. So if you look, I kind of put a quick quote there in the sense of, for the organizations, for every $10,000 you raise, your organization could get an additional $1,500 or more. Last year it was 18%. So we are trying very hard to make sure we try and maintain that percentage going forward. So it's important. So as you talk to your donors and you talk about those opportunities, that match is very important. If you want to drill it down to $100 gift or $1,000 gift, then of course you'd knock off the appropriate zeros. So for a $100 gift, it's an additional $15. For a $1,000 gift, it's an additional $150. But now that we have a little bit of history behind this, it's a little bit easier to be able to create those statements about what that match means to our community and to you as organizations that are receiving those funds. Also, as a reminder, as we look through these numbers, when you look at this match, we're talking about an example of, just shy of 10,000 raised, net of the credit card fees that typically come out from these transactions. You have the 15% match that's netting you just under $1,500 in this example. If you look at the net amount to the organization, that's a little bit less than $11,500. That means then that you have the split going to the endowment being, in this instance, just over $2,800, with just over $8,600 going back to the organization for their general spending needs. Once again, I do want to point out that I think we had close to a third of the organizations last year that put more than 25% into their endowments. You are more than welcome to do so. I know we had probably about 15 of the organizations that put 100% into their endowments. So you are able to increase that amount going into your endowment if you so choose. You're just not able to go below that 25% threshold. So that's another thing that, I know with one of the organizations, one of the main reasons why they got that matching gift was because they were putting 100% into their endowment. So that's a discussion that, if you haven't already had that among your team, you may want to start having that, because that may change how you're doing some of your marketing for these, for Connect to a Cause, and how you're doing that messaging. but it's important to recognize that that's how that's going to play out. Once again, similar to last year and how that functioned. There really hasn't been anything that changed in that split between endowment and organization from last year. Next slide, please. Once again, this year, we did have 4 best practice sessions last year. We do still have those recorded. We are happy to share those with anybody that is interested and can definitely make sure to put those on our toolkit if we have not already done so. But we will be doing 2 more live best practice sessions. Those are still being formulated. Before I go and try and run through my list, I did want to throw out the offer of, if you are an organization that has participated the last year or 2, and you would like to raise your hand to be that organization to share some of your success stories with your peers and help rise the tide for all boats, then please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to get that scheduled on the calendar. Otherwise, we'll be reaching out to everybody probably sometime next week with those dates and times and those speakers. But we are looking for that to be in the month of August, roughly about 30 days ahead of Connect to a Cause. Next slide, please. So I think that transfers me over to Missy to talk about the toolkit.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, can everybody see that? That's going to be what looks like our webpage. And what we're going to do, similar to what we did last year, is anything and everything you need for your day is going to be found on this toolkit. It is a private website. We ask that you not share the link outside of your organization. And we will send the link to you in our follow-up email from today's presentation so that you have that at your disposal. And I highly recommend that you bookmark that page and add it to your favorites. That way you never have to search for it or look for it. It's always right in the same spot. And likewise, I also recommend that you make a calendar reminder, so that way every week you're going, it comes up on your calendar, you pop into the toolkit and see what new things have been added. This is a living, breathing document, so it will continue to evolve as we get closer to the event, but everything will be listed in here, all of your signups, all of your toolkit items, Britt mentioned earlier, your categories, everything will be listed within here. So it's real important for you to check that on a daily basis, or at least weekly basis. So if you scroll down here, you'll see some of the general information that we have. These are all downloadable letters, forms, signage, things like that that you can use. Allison mentioned the check cash form is here. The donor advised fund form is here. We're working on social media graphics for everyone. Those will be coming in the next couple of weeks. And then as you continue down, you'll see here is an example of our sign up. So you can go for Ask the Expert. You can just click this link here and it'll sign you up for everything you need. There's some general questions that we tend to get a lot here at the foundation that you can look for here to see what the answers are, as well as lists for contact information. So if you have a specific question and you're not sure who to reach out to, you can click that link and get our email addresses and names as well. Here you'll find this is where the link will be to sign up for the roundtable discussion. And then lastly down here, I want to mention this free graphic design resource. It's called Canva. Many of you are probably familiar with it, but they do offer a free business account if you are a nonprofit organization. This would be a great tool to use when making your videos or making your social media graphics. So if you haven't done so, you may want to check that out as well. It might make your life a little bit easier. Second of all, I want to talk about the grant catalog. And the grant catalog is what the donors will use to shop, so to speak, the day of Connect to a Cause. It is a listing of all of our 74 organizations. And so when you filled out your application, Many of you included the language that you would like to be listed in the grant catalog, as well as a link in case a donor would like to learn more about your organization. So all of that information will be uploaded here to the grant catalog. The link to the grant catalog will be, once it's still finished, it will be added to the toolkit. And please go in and double check your listing. Make sure everything looks the way you want it to look, says what you want it to look, that your link is going to the correct place. And also double check your logos, because the space is so limited next to the words. For many of you, in order to make your logos readable, I had to adjust them to a vertical shaped logo instead of a horizontal. If that doesn't reflect your organization's branding guidelines, you need it switched back, or you would like it switched to vertical versus horizontal, again, please reach out. I do need all of those changes and updates by August 15th. So please go into the toolkit, click on the grant catalog link, and verify your listing by August 15th. As of right now, if you don't see yourself listed here, don't worry. I'm still working on it. It's a very time-consuming project, so just be patient, but I promise to have everybody there in plenty of time. So if there's any questions, please let me know. And Britt, I'll go ahead and stop sharing for you.
Sorry, we still got to do Zoom Grace because I haven't done this in a while. All right, so we gave you a lot of information. Connect to a Cause is right around the corner. It is on Thursday, September 15th, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Missy talked about the grants catalog. I feel like I always have to say people cannot donate via our website until 8 a.m. They can log on at 7:59, but it'll be an error message. But at 8 a.m. it is turned on, and then at 8 p.m. it turns off. So make sure that you all know that. Send as much information to people ahead of time. People can send in checks, which our finance team has gotten plenty of checks, which is why it takes us a couple of weeks after to enter in everything. But that 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., those are our 12 hours. That is the time that we're really promoting this, and that is what we're doing. So as I mentioned, we have our nonprofit webinars and seminars. We are back in person. Our next event is going to be on August 5th. And we're switching it up a little bit. It's going to be at the North Ridgeville Library. If you've never been there, it's a beautiful library and they have a beautiful space. We're going to talk about nonprofit finances and the role of the board. So if you're like me, I sit on multiple boards and I always have questions, and there's always new rules and there's always new stuff going on. This is going to be an awesome session. And two of our executive directors to two of our nonprofits participating are going to be speaking. And I think there's actually a third. So we're really tapping into our Connect to a Cause nonprofit organizations and providing these learning opportunities for everyone in our community. So whether it's to your board members, your finance team, if you're a one-person show at your nonprofit, for everyone, including people who may be trying to dip their waters into starting a nonprofit. So please, Maya just put the link to that in the chat. It's going to be on the toolkit page, which we will give you the link after this webinar to the toolkit. Bookmark it, save it, whatever you need to do, because that is the best way that we're going to send updates to you. I know I talked to a few of you over the last couple of days, and I was asking, did you get the email? Did you get the email? Because sometimes people type in their emails wrong, and we don't know they're wrong until someone tells us that they didn't get something. So the best thing that you can do is bookmark that toolkit. And like Missy said, I mean, we check it every day, but you don't have to check it every day. But if you have a question, the answer is probably right there. So our next session is going to be on Wednesday, September 7th. It's going to be virtual, just like this one. Between now and then, probably we'll be talking to each of you. This is always a fluid event, meaning if someone has a suggestion about something, then we're probably going to add it. If someone thinks something was hard to explain or something, well, we're going to make sure that we break the language down so that everyone understands. And so at that session, we'll be giving updates and probably more information about our community celebration here between 5 and 8. My coworkers don't want me to talk about it because they're surprises, and I like to tell you guys surprises because I don't like surprises, but I'm really excited that there's going to be a lot of them for you. So I'm going to stop because I know myself. But yes, so make sure you have that on your calendar. The link it will be the same as this one. We'll send out an email blast to you. And I know a few of you use the links to put it on your calendar. So we will do that again. And that is actually all we have. We want you all to stay safe and start to promote, connect to a cause. We're going to open it up and we'll stay here for questions, but this is it. Hopefully this was easy for you to understand and you got some questions answered that you may have had, but we're going to open it up. If you want to unmute yourself or if you want to put something in the chat, we are here until the hour is up. And if there's one thing that you take away from today, reach out to us. If you have a question, reach out. If you want to go get lunch, reach out. I don't like to be in the office, so I love to go on visits. So please just let any of us know and we will come visit, talk, plan, whatever you need us to do. That is what we're here for. So we're going to open it up. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. And totally hop off if you don't have questions or if you just need to reach us later, whatever you need to do. Totally get it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, this was a really quick call.
When will we get the flyers, or will that be in the toolkit?
So in the toolkit, we give you like social media graphics. And I don't know, Missy mentioned Canva a little bit. So there's letters and all those things. So yes, once you get the link, you'll be able to explore. Once again, we're always creating. So like we have our first set of draft and we're like, maybe we don't like the coloring. So we'll upload it. And if you say you need help with X, then just reach out to us and we can help you create something. Jim, do you have a question? You're muted. Oop, you keep moving. Let me see. Is there a deadline for the videos? Yep, of course there is. And we didn't tell you. We said August 15th. So if you can have your video recorded and sent to us by August 15th, no, I don't know how we're going to request you to send them yet because there are so many different avenues in which we could do that. So if you have a suggestion, we're open. We know some people can send us to the via Google Docs or Dropbox, and we even realized that some people can create and upload things in Canva and just share them with us. So we're also looking at some software where we can potentially just send it to you and allow you to do it that way. So we are fluid.
And also bear in mind, if you have something that's professionally produced that you want to utilize during that time frame, you're welcome to do that also, right, Britt?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Thank you, Brittany.
Right.
Question, as far as contacting potential donors, does anyone have any experience in terms of how often you might contact the donors, or, what a period prior to the event? Is it best to hit maybe early and then with a follow-up within, a few days of the event? I mean, what have people done in the past?
So yeah, Jim, that's a great question. And I think people have probably done a lot of things, right? So we've heard nonprofits who right around now, they're downloading those letters on the toolkit and they're sending something in the mail, a save the date to donors. I always tell people that 30 days before, you got to blitz them. And those 2 weeks before, everyone should know you're a part of Connect to a Cause. And it's really just, you got to know your donor base, rather what age they are, how they get their information. Is it social media? Is it email? Is it, the newsletter, a newsletter that you send out, whatever it is, to start planting that seed in their mind. So if you think about it from our standpoint, we're getting billboards, we're taking out ads in the newspaper, but we're really just advertising the day. It's really up to you and your organization to make sure that people know you're a part of that day. And that's why I love Allison pointed out this year with the check form, we included everyone because we had a handful of donors who donated to every single, both years, 56 and 65, and we're estimating that they'll probably do 74 as well. So as long as people know that you're participating, they know to look for your name when they're going to donate. I always tell people, and there's not that many people on the call, so I can say it now, ask me to donate. You don't know me. I might not be on your donor list, but if you ask me, I'll donate. See, I can do this with 23. I can't do it with 74. But the point is, ask, and it may be your current donor base. I know we work with an organization and it was their first year last year. They were a little concerned about asking their regular donors because their year-end letter went out not too long after Connect to a Cause. And so the plan that they decided to take was to not send something to the regular donors, but have people go through their work networks, their volunteer networks, social media, and they raised over $6,000 and they were all new donors. They had a few that overlapped, and when they sent out their end of year, they included the people from Connect to a Cause, and some of them donated again. So you just never know who you're talking to or anything. Everybody's a donor.
The other thing to remember, Jim, is not just what you're creating that's Connect to a Cause specific, but what you have that you're going to be pushing out anyway. So any correspondences that the foundation's going to put out, that the school district's going to put out that's talking about the foundation, any newsletters, any general correspondences, how can you insert in the corner of that correspondence, hey, we're participating in Connect to a Cause. Here's the QR code, save the date for September 15th. So some of this isn't really, reinventing the wheel. It's what do you have already planned in your marketing generally between July 13th and September 15th that you can just slap a logo on or slap a QR code on or say, please support us, a tagline, whatever you want to do to put that additional messaging in on all the stuff that you are going to be pushing out anyway.
And we have a couple QR codes that are going to be available. And the QR codes take you to the Connect to a Cause page. So it's almost like learn more. And then once we do turn on the grants catalog, we're going to have some available. So if you want for the actual catalog, but if we send them to you now and someone scans it, it's not going to pop up right now. So, and even just like a little logo, like you see, or maybe you haven't seen it yet, but on some of the designs, we have the Connect to a Cause logo with the Community Foundation logo. We're putting that on top of all of our documents. Our header for the next few weeks are going to be completely different with Connect to a Cause on it. Our email signature is going to have something about Connect to a Cause on it. You can see I'm backwards, but I always try to put stuff in the back in any meeting that I'm in. So like you have to kind of live and breathe this, and you'll see the results.
Cool, thank you.
Any other questions? Awesome. Okay. Well, we're here. Please reach out to us. You all should have our emails and our contact information. So we're going to stop recording and we will see you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.